それでは時間になりましたので、
It is time. We would like to begin 2015 Kavli Prize Laureate lectures. I have the honor of serving as the moderator. I am Hitoshi Murayama, director of the Kavli Institute for the Physics and Mathematics of the University of Tokyo. Kavli Prize may not be very well known in Japan, but in the United States, Kavli laureates are all invited to the White House and will meet the President of the United States. This is a practice that is given to Nobel laureates and Kavli laureates only, and that shows the importance of Kavli Prize. Kavli Prize is a prize for basic science that was founded with the personal wealth of Mr. Fred Kavli, who was a Norwegian-born American businessman. It is given in astrophysics, nanoscience, and neuroscience in 3 fields. To a remarkable research results that may change the world. And this is done in cooperation with the assets of Kavli Foundation and Norwegian Academy of Science and Humanities. Now, I would like to invite President Bob Kohn, CEO of Kavli Foundation, to say a few words. Please welcome with a big round of applause.
Good morning. Konnichiwa. Actually, good afternoon. Looking at this audience, it is just wonderful to see so many people come on a Saturday afternoon to hear about fundamental science. It thrills your heart to see that interest. I want to begin by saying thank you to a number of people. First, to Professor Hitoshi Murayama, who is the director of the Kavli Institute for the Physics and Mathematics of the Universe at the University of Tokyo, and his able staff, and particularly Ms. Yuko Inomoto, who have worked tirelessly to make today's event possible. So I want to thank them. I also would like to thank Ambassador Rimestad of the Royal Norwegian Embassy here in Tokyo and his staff who have partnered with us in putting on today's event. And also Dr. Kirsti Strømbull from the University of Oslo, who is this year the president of the Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters. They are our partners. The Norwegian Academy is in awarding the Kavli Prizes. This is the second time that we have had Kavli Prize laureate lectures here in Tokyo. We did it first in 2013, and it's wonderful to see so many of you here this morning. Today, you're going to hear from 2 extraordinary scientists, both of whom are winners of the 2014 Kavli Prize, one of them in the field of astrophysics and cosmology, the other in the field of nanoscience. And as we remarked, we also give the Kavli Prize in neuroscience, that is the science of the brain and the mind. Dr. Alan Guth of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the United States is one of the key discoverers and proposers, really perhaps the original proposer, of the theory of cosmic inflation. As he will tell you, there was, we know, a big bang. The question is, how did the universe get to look as it does from that initial bang? There was no theory. All we knew was the universe looks as it is, it's expanding. We think we might know why, but actually we don't yet, still. His theory is exquisite in its explanation of those very, very short times right after the first bang. I look at it and I would say the theory of cosmic inflation is one of the most extraordinary scientific ideas of the last half century. Just a stunning concept. You'll also be listening to Dr. Thomas Ebbesen from the University of Strasbourg in France. His discovery that light can pass through holes in a sheet of matter, think of a thin foil with holes in it, except that the holes are extremely small, smaller than the wavelength of the light. And the theory had always been, if the light wavelength is bigger than the size of the hole, the light cannot go through the hole. Except it's not true. And Thomas Ebbesen was the one who discovered that, in fact, light can pass through holes in matter smaller than the wavelength. He's going to tell you, I'm sure, about what in English we call his eureka moment, when he realized that what he was observing was actually real and not an artifact of his experimental setup. This is science at its most creative, most exciting, most brilliant. I know of no worldly application, yet anyway, of cosmic inflation. This work that was done purely for the purpose of understanding the world around us. On the other hand, Professor Ebbesen's work he was looking to solve some practical problems. And the discovery that he made has today many practical applications. And both of these subjects are the reasons that we do science, to understand the world around us and to solve problems that improve our lives in practical ways. Now, as has been said, the Kavli Prize is a partnership between the Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters, the Norwegian Ministry of Education and Research, both in Norway, and the Kavli Foundation in California in the United States. Excuse me. The prizes are awarded every other year, every even year, 2008, 2010, 2012, and so on, in three fields: astrophysics, which includes cosmology, nanoscience, and neuroscience. And the first Kavli Prizes were awarded in 2008, and since then, 31 extraordinary scientists from 3 continents have been honored with the Kavli Prize. All these laureates are emblematic of the best of science, as scientists work to unravel the mysteries of the universe, to understand the smallest structures of nature, and to address the complexity of the human brain and the human mind. And I might say, this is not in the notes, but parenthetically, science is largely the reason that we live today 60% longer, on average, than we lived a century ago. That is stunning. And the reason is largely the discoveries, not just in medicine and biology, but also in the fields of engineering and technology and other sciences. But what it means is, in the future, understanding the brain and the diseases of the brain will become ever more important. All of us probably know people with Alzheimer's disease and other diseases of the mind. These were not anything people worried about 100 years ago because they didn't live long enough. Now that problem will be crucial. So the laureates, I think this year are particularly emblematic of what I'd call humanity's enduring curiosity. And it's the curiosity that drives the Kavli Foundation and that drove the founder of the Kavli Foundation, Fred Kavli, for whom the prizes are named. So I thought I'd say just a word or two about Fred Kavli. As was stated, Fred Kavli was born in Norway, actually in a small valley on the western edge of Norway. And he grew up with a lifelong curiosity about the universe around him, and indeed about our very existence in this universe. And that curiosity took hold when he was a young boy, and he would tell the story of looking up at the northern sky, very far north now, and he could see the aurora borealis, the dancing of the northern lights, and he wondered, where it all came from. And that curiosity stayed with him his entire life. He moved to America in the 1950s, and over the next 40 years, he became an incredibly successful businessman. But when the right time came, which was in the year 2000, he began to address that boyhood curiosity in a concrete way by establishing the Kavli Foundation to support basic science for the betterment of humanity. So the foundation is dedicated to supporting, catalyzing, and enabling basic science. And whether it's the desire to understand the world around us, and you could think here of the prototypical person, Einstein, just trying to understand the world around us. Or you could think of people who want to solve problems. The quintessential person here might be Louis Pasteur and pasteurization, wanting to solve problems in the medical field. All of that kind of motivation, basic science then leads us to what I'd call the factory that produces the fundamental knowledge needed to improve the quality of life for people and societies around the world. I mentioned the Kavli Institute at Todai at the University of Tokyo. To date, there are 20 Kavli institutes based in Asia, Europe, and the United States. And these institutes are charged with one mission, which is to expand the human knowledge in the fields of brain science, astrophysics and cosmology, nanoscience, and theoretical physics. And to accomplish this, these institutes receive funding from the foundation. And that funding is unrestricted for their use. We do not say what they should do. Each institute has a financial endowment that provides annual revenue that the institutes are free to use to spend on their best and brightest ideas. And the only expectation is dare to take risk. Dare to pursue your wildest and brightest ideas. The funds from the endowments of our 20 institutes give scientists what they value most, the resources to pursue their most exciting ideas, regardless of the risk involved. The Kavli Foundation has become an agent of scientific change. We are known for identifying, catalyzing, and enabling several major scientific programs, especially in the United States. Perhaps most well known is what's called in the United States the BRAIN Initiative, announced by President Obama in 2013 as a national initiative for the reasons that I described at the beginning. And we were pleased to be invited to the White House to help celebrate the beginning of this extraordinary adventure to understand the functioning human brain. Fred Kavli passed away in 2013, but the legacy of his vision, supported by the fruits of his life's work, will continue in perpetuity through the Kavli Foundation as we support basic science and help make life better for people all over the world. Domo arigato gozaimashita.
Dr. Kohn, thank you very much. This lecture is co-organized by Kavli Foundation, from which President Kohn is serving as a president, and Norwegian Academy and Norwegian Embassy, and one of the Kavli Institute at University of Tokyo are co-organizing the lectures. And therefore, I would like to invite His Excellency Ambassador Rimestad of Norwegian Embassy to say a few words. Please welcome His Excellency with an applause.
Kavli Prize laureates, distinguished colleagues and guests, it's an honor to address you all at the opening of the second Kavli Prize laureate lecture here in Tokyo. The Kavli Prize, a partnership between the Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters, the Kavli Foundation, and the Norwegian Ministry of Education and Research, is presented by His Majesty the King of Norway at the prize ceremony in Oslo every second year, and is an important event for awarding excellence in the science disciplines, astrophysics, neuroscience, and nanoscience. We have the pleasure of having two of last year's laureates with us, Professor Guth and Professor Ebbesen, giving us insights into their science world here today. Professor Guth is scientifically connected to the Kavli Institute for the Physics and Mathematics of the Universe. Professor Ebbesen is a Norwegian citizen with tremendous achievements in many corners of the world. He spent a significant part of his career here in Japan with discovery of nanotubes together with Professor Ijima, and not least important findings in the field of nano-optics, leading to the 2014 Kavli Prize as impressive merits. As the Norwegian ambassador to Japan, I have to admit that we feel we owe him a little bit. Japan and Norway are collaborating within science and technology in many fields and signed a bilateral agreement back in 2003. One of the prioritized areas are, in fact, nanoscience. Since 2013, we have, together with partners in Japan, organized the Japan-Norway Science Week, bringing together our two countries' leading scientists. This year, we focused on environmentally friendly energy at the Energy Science Week with 70 scientists from Norway and more than 200 from Japan. We are now planning for the 2016 Arctic Science Week, where important high north issues will be discussed and collaboration activities strengthened. The University of Tokyo, where the Kavli Institute for Physics and Mathematics of the Universe is located, is an important partner to Norwegian research and education institutions in many disciplines. We are therefore very pleased to be able to co-organize this event with them. They have put down a tremendous effort in preparing for the lectures, and I believe you all will be enjoying very much the fascinating dive into the size-wise outer borders in science, nanoscience, and astrophysics. And perhaps we will see today that the smallest and the largest really come together. I would like to end by thanking the co-organizers of this event, the Kavli Institute for Physics and Mathematics of the Universe, the Kavli Foundation, and the Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters. Please enjoy the afternoon here with us and be inspired by the excellence in science communicated by Professor Guth and Professor Ebbesen. Thank you very much.
リメスタ大使ありがとうございました。そして
Thank you, Ambassador Rimestad. And last but not least, I would like to invite Dr. Kirsten Bull of Norwegian Academy. Please welcome with a round of applause.
Ambassador Rimestad, Professor Murayama, President Khan, Kavli Prize laureates Thomas Ebbesen and Alan Guth, distinguished guests. It's a great honor for the Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters to partner up with the University of Tokyo, the Kavli Foundation, and the Norwegian Embassy for the second Kavli Prize laureate lecture here in Tokyo. 2 years ago, we celebrated Professor Sumio Iijima, the 2008 Kavli Prize laureate in nanoscience. Today, we celebrate Thomas Ebbesen and Alan Guth, Kavli Prize laureate 2014. The Kavli Prize is a partnership between Kavli Foundation, the Norwegian Ministry of Education and Research, and the Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters. The Kavli Foundation and the Kavli Prize were established by the Norwegian-born entrepreneur, business leader, innovator, and philanthropist Fred Kavli. The Kavli Prize is awarded for extraordinary achievements in 3 research areas: astrophysics, nanoscience, and neuroscience. The purpose of the prize is to recognize outstanding scientific research, to honor highly creative scientists, to promote public understanding of scientists and their work, and to foster international cooperation among scientists. The Kavli Prize is awarded biennially in Oslo. The first time was in 2008. Next time will be in September 2016. And as you heard, the prize is awarded by the King of Norway. So far, we had 1 Kavli Prize laureate from Japan, Sumio Iijima. But the work Thomas Ebbesen did while he worked in Japan was fundamental for awarding him the Kavli Prize in 2014. Iijima and Ebbesen work also closely together, and they discover nanotubes while collaborating. For each of the 3 prizes, astrophysics, nanoscience, and neuroscience, a prize committee is appointed by the Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters. Members of the committee are world-leading scientists within their field. The committee members are chosen by the Royal Society of London, the French Academy of Sciences, the Max Planck Society, the National Academy of Science, US, and the Chinese Academy of Science. It is the work done by the committee members that has given the Kavli Prize its high reputation. The Kavli Prize laureate lecture has been an important part of the Kavli Prize activities. This year, the laureate lectures are held in Berlin, Tokyo, and Washington, D.C. I will take this opportunity to thank the Kavli Prize, the Kavli Institute of Physics and Mathematics of the Universe for all their hard work in putting together this wonderful program. We truly appreciate all your hard efforts and hope that having Kavli Prize laureate lecture at the University of Tokyo can be a permanent tradition. Thank you.
ありがとう。
Thank you very much.